Alright, so this video is going to be about short-term gains and why short-term gains are something that will give you a miserable life. So if you think about anything like drinking alcohol, you go out, you get drunk, you have a short-term gain. So that's, 4 to 5 hours of partying with friends or feeling this euphoria, but then almost always after a short-term gain, there is a downward spiral that will happen. Like obviously for alcohol, that's a hangover. Probably scheming, like, oh, here's a way you can make money. And you're looking for that high of like, how can we sort of make that happen, and not thinking about the consequences of like, oh, if we do this, is it, hurting somebody, or are we taking advantage of somebody? It's just this very sort of quick fix high is what it is. I think that's what short-term gain is. It's a short-term high. It's a bit like a cigarette with the nicotine. Like you're only just getting that little bit of head rush from the nicotine, and that's really it. So it's this short-term pleasurable gain that you get, but it makes you return again and again and again. So a cigarette's a really good analogy actually for that, because you have to keep coming back to it. And it's similar with like scheming, like, you get these people and it's like, oh, there's this new way to make money, and, they make the money or they don't. And then like, it's always this next thing, or it's this next thing, but they seem to never have this sort of sustainable way of making money, or people never have this sustainable way of really living their lives. It's always about the quick fix. It's always about the short-term pleasure, a short-term high. So that leads into, how do you actually live a life that's sustainable emotionally, in the things that you choose to do for a living, in the relationships that you have? The same can go for relationships. One night stands, quick sex, pleasure for the sake of pleasure, when there's not like a connection with the person. So that's a very common one, where people are just looking for this short-term gain, and you don't have a genuine connection, and it doesn't last long. I mean, I think there's two measurements. How long does it last? But also, how connected do you feel to the thing or the person? How does it make you feel after engaging with it? So you can ask yourself, what things are you engaging with right now that actually make you feel bad? Like social media is a big one with the quick fix. That's probably more relevant these days in the analogy of the cigarette, yeah? Swipe, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit. No one feels great after scrolling social media. Maybe if you've left it for a long period of time and then you check it, you're like, oh wow, like this is great. But most people, they're not going to have that effect. Like most people are going to be using it every single day, and getting that dopamine hit, quick fix. And it's not this like conscious awareness, presence, activity. If you boil it all down to like the basics, it comes down to presence. How present do you feel in the moment? Where is your mind? Is it in the past? Is it in the future? Or is it in the present? And do you feel present? Are you in your body? Are you breathing deeply? Do you feel here now? Is really the question to ask. A lot of people who make big money are not present, because they're constantly chasing more. I can see people's desire to want to make money and escape the rat race. The 9 to 5 is a bit of a joke, especially these days with the internet. One of the things that people do, and I know that I did, is I want to make money, I want to make money, I want to make money. But ultimately, what that leads to is a lifestyle. You don't really want to make money so that you can buy that new car. I mean, maybe you need a new car, but like the analogy is the new thing. The new sofa, the new car, the new house, the new barbecue, the new this, the new that. And a lot of the time, those physical goods, you're not going to get the use out of them that you thought you would. There's nothing wrong with having those nice things. It's just how much fulfillment does it really give you? The true fulfillment in life comes from experience and connection with people and connection with yourself. And it's hard to put a money value on that. So if they're the most important things in life, presence in yourself, connections with others, experience, travel, if they're the most important things in life, then why is money such like a idolized thing? You know, oh wow, they've made, 20 million. Okay, and how present are they? And how are their connections with themselves and their relationships with the people around them? How much of their time is free? All those sorts of things. So there can still be people who make a lot of money that are very present, because these people have really worked it out, and often they actually don't need the money, and they'll do great things with the money to uplift humanity or do great things in the world. So it's not to say that all people who pursue money or have money are, unhappy and not connected and don't have presence. There are many that do. It's just this idolization that people are giving up their time and the connection with themselves in the pursuit of this money. That's the problem. Because the priority should always be the connection with yourself and those around you and how you feel. That should always be the priority. We live in a Western world where even if you don't work, you have food on the table and a shelter over your head, access to clean drinking water. You can clean yourself with a shower, like the most basic fundamental things that third world countries don't have and they are fighting for every day. That is their rich. We have it automatically. So we are very fortunate and in a position where we can actually pursue things like being more connected with ourselves and those around us and find our passions, yet we are sold this lie that we must consume, work harder to get the things. But no one really knows what these things are, because you get trapped, right? You get trapped in a mortgage that you have to pay off for 30 years. You get trapped in feeling some requirement for a reward, so you go and buy things, and just everyone around you is doing this. Like, oh, and I'll just work another 5 years, but you're like 55 and your health is bad, It's like, get your health in order. That's priority. Once this life is done, it's done, as they say. As in, once your health is gone, no amount of money that you have can really help. The only time it could help is if you went and saw a specialist and you had great medical insurance or money to pay for that person. But the idea is to prevent that in the first place. Get healthy, connect with yourself, create a sense of community in the world, connect with people around you, travel far and wide, all those things. It's all possible these days. Like, the internet is incredible for that. The internet's changed the world. It's changed the world big time. Like, you can make millions of dollars per year, or even just hundreds and thousands of dollars, like more than most people earn working 40 to 60 hours a week plus travel, you know? Like the jobs that people are doing that take basically their whole life, you can earn more money online from a hut in Indonesia with a Wi-Fi connection and a power outlet than you can someone working all that time, travel to and from work in the job they don't like, perhaps. You know what I mean? Like literally, you can set yourself up to be working 2 to 3 hours a day from 6 o'clock in the morning to 9 a.m. Then you finish, go ahead and enjoy your day, you know? Wake up, have a coffee, start work. Okay, it's 9 o'clock now, time to finish work. I can go about my day, great. I can meditate, I can exercise, I can work with trainers. I can do the things that I want. I can fly here, I can fly there. I can eat at that restaurant. I can go and talk to a stranger. I can interview people. You can do all these things that you want to do because your time is free and your money is open. Now, of course, the trap is always to make more, to make more, to make more. So find a balance. But if you have that cutoff of like, okay, now my work is done, I go and do this now. So that's really one of the biggest misconceptions people get, like about this 9-to-5 job, work per hour type thing. It's the worst. Seriously, it's the worst. I've been there. You don't need to do it. You can work a few hours and earn great money, incredible money, more money than most people earn working 60 hours a week. And then you have the ability to leave where you are. If you work a 9-to-5, you can't go anywhere. You've got your rent to pay, you've got all your obligations, your life is set up around that job, around that physical location. So you have to be there. Anyway, it's been a bit of a rant about working. It's been a bit of a rant about short-term pleasures. I guess the thing here is the more you invest in yourself, as in the longer you treat yourself with love and respect, the more you will attract that in your environment. And the reason behind that is your level of expectation does this. It goes up and up and up and up and up for yourself. And once you have a certain level of respect for yourself and love for yourself, you can no longer accept this from others. Okay? So that's why self-growth is quite hard. You're going to find challenges because the people around you are going to go, whoa, wait a minute, he's changing. He's different. I don't like that, because most people aren't moving up more than, they say, 5% in a lifetime, but that's what happens. That is what happens. So make sure that you just keep going with the growth, and naturally you will attract and find those people. You'll have to put in a bit of a conscious effort, but very naturally what you expect from depth of conversation to levels of love that you give and receive, the difference between romantic relationships and sexual energies, the things that you pursue in your profession, like the closer you are to God and higher power, the more all of that changes. The closer you are to constantly improving and becoming a better person, the more love you can give. The more love you can give, the more love you will receive. So thank you for watching.